Yo, before we start this video, I just want to say this video is going to include some very sensitive topics. So if you aren't comfortable with that, please click out of the video. This is going to be talking a lot about gun violence, mass shootings, school shootings, Sandy Hook Elementary School. So if you're not comfortable with that, please click out the video. Please be mature about this. And this is just me sharing my opinion. Yo, what is going on, y'all? V-Rob here. Today what we are going on, we'll be reacting to this Sandy Hook back to school ad. The title is Back to School Essentials. And I guess Sandy Hook has their own YouTube channel, this elementary school. They only have 20,000 subscribers. And this video has almost 2 million views in just 2 days. I have seen this video before. I actually posted this video on my Instagram story. So we're going to watch this, y'all. It's only 1 minute and 6 seconds. Without further ado, let's go.
My mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool. These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Okay. So obviously, if you guys remember, back in December of 2012, Sandy Hook, the mass/school shooting at Sandy Hook occurred in December of 2012, like I said, and 27 people were killed, along with 28, along with the shooter. And I remember the shooter, they did find out that he was a teen. He dealt with Asperger's. He also dealt with depression, anxiety, throughout his entire teenage years. He also killed his mother before he went to the school. But, sorry, I know I'm normally good at looking into the camera. I'm just trying to collect my thoughts with this. Obviously, this is a very powerful promotion. Or I wouldn't even call it a promotion. That's a really bad way to put it. This is a really powerful ad, I'll call it. This is a very powerful video. I thought the students did a really good job, by the way. That's obviously a very uncomfortable situation to put a student in to go through that. So shout out to the students. They did a really good job on that. But, okay. So me personally, my reaction on that video, I think out of any school that needed to do a video on that, it was Sandy Hook. It's one thing for school officials to say something about school shootings that have never been in that situation before. But we're talking about Sandy Hook that was so affected by this almost 7 years ago. I remember exactly where I was when I came home from school and heard about the news. For them to do a video like this, I think it's very important. And we saw what happened last month in El Paso and in Dayton, Ohio. The mass shootings that happened there. And what's sad and what's scary for me is Sandy Hook, for me, I know there's been a lot more, and I'm sorry, it's not trying to be disrespectful, but 2012, late that year, was the first time that like a school shooting / the mass shooting caught my attention. And what's really frightening about that is it's only become more common throughout the last 7 years. I mean, you look at this year in 2019, yo. I'm not trying to be perfect with the numbers or anything, but I know it's like record highs with the amount of mass shootings that have been going on in this country. This is something I'm very passionate about. You know, when this happened, almost all the kids that died, that were killed, there's about 18 to 20 kids, I'm pretty sure, and all of them were at the age range of 5, 6, and 7. And that really hit home for me because at the time, my brother was only 4 years old, and at this time right now, he's 10. So just thinking, I mean, if you guys have a little brother or a little sister, or even if you guys are in elementary school right now, imagine a kid in kindergarten or in first grade getting killed by a gun at school. What I was really interested in is when they showed the backpack at the beginning. I thought personally that was going to be a bulletproof backpack. But what they did was they had like the normal back to school ads, you know, all positive, good vibes. And then they started transitioning more and more to relating it to shootings. And, you know, I just think it's really powerful, man. And if you go to like any of like the back to school sales, like in July, August, and September around like big stores like that, they have bulletproof backpacks now, guys. They have bulletproof backpacks now. I talked about this in my video that I did after the El Paso shooting, but like think about that for a second. I mean, we are living in a society, we are living in a time in our time on earth, our humanity, that we have to be getting bulletproof backpacks to protect ourselves from something like that. And also about the phones thing, man, I am so for having phones in school. I am so for that. I mean, that's a prime example of why you should have one right there. That is a prime example of why you should have one right there. And, you know, some of my teachers that I've had in the past have this thing called like a cell phone jail, or you have to put your phones up at the beginning, at the front of the class. I mean, man, I think it should just be on you. I mean, we use this so much, like it's part of our bodies, basically. We do. Me personally, I use that as a tool. Most people use it as a toy sometimes, but my point is, guys, there's obviously has to be a change. If I had to make a change, and if I could just snap my fingers and make it all perfect, I would take away all the guns in America. But I know, like, fam, I do not want you guys coming at me like, oh, V-Rob doesn't know his shit, V-Rob doesn't know that. I don't know that much research about guns. I don't know, like, the statistics. I know there are over 400 million guns owned in America, so that process would be very long and very difficult. But I think the most important thing right now is to minimize the amount of guns. And for the people that do have them, the people that are trying to get them, make them as hard as possible. As hard as possible to get. I definitely don't think the answer is to have, you know, teachers or guns in the classroom. I think if anything, that just means more violence. You look at the United States. We do have the right to bear arms. And we are one of the few countries that allows almost all of our citizens the right to bear arms, meaning there are implications, there is background checks and whatnot, but it is much easier to get a weapon in America as compared to as other countries throughout the world. And, I mean, I don't know the statistics like per capita, but I know from a mass shooting standpoint, we are ahead of so many other populated countries by far. By far, compared to China, France, England, any of those countries that you can think out there in Europe, in Asia, and it's scary and it's sad. So, fam, I don't know what the answers are. I really don't. But me personally, I just know something needs to change. And I think what is a positive, I should take that back. There's no positives to get out of this. I think something that is beneficial is that our generation is being born into this, which I think is bad, but it will also motivate us to make that change come election time, to make that change when we get the chance to vote, when we get the chance to really speak for ourselves and share our opinions, whether that's not even voting. We have the ability, we have the platforms, we're all on social media to share our opinions, and maybe that opinion can change the world. Maybe it can spark someone to make a change, if someone with power. But that's what I got, yo. And if there's anyone affected, or any family members, any friends that have been affected by this, just prayers out to y'all. I know a lot of it does have to do with mental health, and that is something that me personally I'm trying, and I'm working my ass off to change. You know, I'm an ambassador for 1 in 5, this one organization in Cincy, and our goal is to stop the stigma, start the conversation on mental health. So many things have to be changed, y'all. Granted, America is the best country in the world. Like, I'm going to say that straight up. But there are still so many things that we need to improve on. You know what I mean? And we just got to start looking at ourselves as part of a team. You know what I mean? Not looking at each other as an opponent, that all of us are going up against each other. Life is so competitive. I think the biggest opponent that you have in life is the person you look at in the mirror. And I think it's time for us to realize that, you know? And so, I mean, it's scary, but you just got to think, like, you got to pray that you're not affected in the next one, because shit's happening so much now. So, you guys obviously know with my content, with my platform, I'm going to work my butt off. The higher I get, the more fame I get, I'm going to work my butt off even more to make a change. Whether that's for gun violence, whether that's for mental health, anything that I'm really passionate about. You know what I mean? But I thought this is great. I think this should be shown at every school, to every school administration, at everybody in office, anybody that's in, politics, that has power, whether it's in a city council, whether it's in the state, the Senate, the national government. But I thought it was great. Shout out to Sandy Hook. I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to check it out again. But I'm out this thing, man. This is just my opinion on it. All love, and I'm out. I think just one thing I want to throw in. I know a lot of people get annoyed when I share my opinion on topics like this, but you guys got to realize that I am Vaughn Robinson, and despite me being so passionate about the NBA and so passionate about music and so passionate about clothes and sneakers and all this stuff, I am still allowed to share my opinion on this stuff. And stuff that I'm really passionate about that I don't always make content on, I am going to share my opinion, especially when there's something like this and I feel there's a change and there's some bit of me that can really make a difference in our society just at this point. When I get bigger, when I get more fame, when I get all this and, like a verified check or whatnot, I'm going to continuously push my ideas, because I feel my ideas, not even just about this, but in general, can really make a positive change in this world. I need companies, I need people with power to realize that. The best way for our world to get better and the best way for improvement in society is through collaboration. That's for products, that's for business, that is for clothes, that is for ideas, that is for sports, that's for all of the above. Collaboration is the best way to find an idea, to find the answers, all in general. And if we can work to make a difference for gun violence in America, in our society as a whole, and for mental health, we can make a difference. We just have to start working together, not looking at people as our enemy. We are all one. We're all one family. We're all technically related. So, I'm out this thing, man. All love.